Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Bad Bookers Wrestling Podcast. My name is Jack, and to kick off this review, I'm going to have to apologise because a few weeks back I didn't do SmackDown or NXT because I couldn't be bothered. I was feeling under the weather, and I couldn't be bothered to stick a camera in my face. And then this week, it completely slipped my mind. I just forgot to do it. I did the Raw one, but not the SmackDown and NXT one, so I have to apologise for that. I'm thinking I'll probably not do the NXT reviews anymore. I'll have to think about it. It's not certain yet, but I'll have to think about it. Maybe just do the Raw and SmackDowns. I'm not too sure yet. But we are reviewing SummerSlam. Obviously, there was NXT TakeOver Saturday night as well, which was a fantastic show. It was probably my favourite NXT TakeOver ever, because it was just so good. I haven't done the review for that because I was working and I got home late and didn't review it. But watched SmackDown, watched SummerSlam even last night, and it was a very good show. I thoroughly enjoyed my show. I think it was the best. I put it on Twitter. It's the best by far, the best pay-per-view on the main roster this wrestling year, so April to April, so after Mania till next Mania. So it's definitely by far the best pay-per-view they've done on the main roster, and there was swerves, there was surprises, there was action, like some very good matches in there, and yeah, it didn't feel like 6 hours. Obviously the main show's 4 hours and the pre-show's 2 hours, but it didn't feel that long. It felt like, fast paced when it needed to be. It was a really well structured show and really well thought out, and I thoroughly enjoyed all of it. We're going to go through the pre-show. I'm not going to explain the matches. I'll just go through them. So Andrade Cien Almas and Selena Vega defeated Rusev and Lana. Cedric Alexander retained his Cruiserweight Championship by defeating Drew Gulak, and the Raw Tag Team Champions, the B Team, retained their titles by defeating the Revival. So, kicking off with the main show, the first match up was Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler in a IC title match. The crowd are very hot for this match. Obviously, with Seth Rollins, he seems to be the classic show starter now. He's always the just open the show, get the crowd going and whatnot. And obviously he had Dean Ambrose in his corner. Dolph had Drew McIntyre in his corner. And in the end, Seth Rollins managed to defeat Dolph Ziggler in what was a very, very good match, in my opinion, to regain his IC title. And we're going to get Seth versus Dolph maybe tonight or Hell in a Cell. I can't see it being an actual Hell in a Cell match. So it'll probably be on the pay-per-view just as a normal match, because it's not a rivalry to have put a Hell in a Cell involved in it. But it was a very good match. He does his superplex off the top rope into a Falcon Arrow. He did that, but reversed. So he had he was behind Dolph on the top rope and then flipped him, suplexed him. It looks insane. Everything was just reversed. It looks insane. The finish of the match was Drew McIntyre jumped up on the apron. I think Seth was about to hit a curb stomp or something. Drew McIntyre jumped onto the apron. Dean Ambrose yanked him down. Dirty deeds on the outside. Seth was like, "Oh my god, that's amazing," while looking at Dean. Dolph Ziggler was up, standing behind him, but before Dolph could hit a super kick on Seth managed to hit a super kick on his own. Curb stomp, 1, 2, 3. Seth is the new champion. Like I said, it was a very good match, and it's well worth a watch, and it's a very good decision to put it at the start of the show, because Seth might be a main eventer, but he does well to kick off a show every time. So, fair play to him. Next up, we had The New Day defeating the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Bludgeon Brothers, by DQ. So, the Bludgeon Brothers retained their title. The New Day looked like they were about to win it, and Rowan hit Big E, I think it was first, with one of the hammers. It was an alright match. It was fine for a tag team match. Tag team wrestling's been a bit dead recently on WWE. But yeah, DQ finish. Neither loses clean. That's fine. That's fine by me. Next up, we had the the Monster in the Bank, the KO in the Bank match between Braun Strowman and Kevin Owens, and I was not expecting what was going to happen. Braun Strowman squashed Kevin Owens within 3 minutes, I think it was. It was an absolute squash match. I was not expecting it at all. There's nothing really to say. Braun Strowman chokeslammed Kevin Owens on the outside, on the ramp. Made it sickening thuds, rolled him back in the ring. I think he power slammed him, and then it was over pretty much. It was just mad, absolutely mad. I don't know where Kevin Owens goes from here after being squashed. Like, it makes sense for Braun to squash people because he's a big lad, but I don't know where Kevin Owens is going to go from here. It's going to be interesting to see. Next up, we had the women's triple threat for the SmackDown Women's Championship. Everyone was rooting for Becky. The whole crowd was rooting for Becky. Charlotte Flair wins the SmackDown Women's title, and the crowds absolutely shat on her. They were boos raining from everywhere. It was mental, like, just boos from all angles of the crowd. Becky Lynch hugged Charlotte. There was even more boos. And then the crowd switched just like that after Becky Lynch slaps the shit out of Charlotte Flair and threw her across the arena. Was it a heel turn? Maybe. But it looked like it was just frustration more than anything. So we'll have to wait until SmackDown to see if it was the heel turn. But the crowds were cheering like anything. Becky's just so over at the moment. And I don't know why they haven't put the belt on her. If they don't put the belt on her, either Hell in a Cell or Evolution, then, like, what's the point? Because Becky's just well and truly over at the moment. I know when Charlotte was first added to the match, I said Becky Lynch was going to turn heel, but it just doesn't make any sense anymore because she's just so over, unbelievably over. But yeah, Charlotte Flair is the new SmackDown Women's Championship. She's the actual championship. She's the new champion. So Carmella's going to have a rematch at some point. Hopefully Carmella will lose that, and then she'll go back to being a lower mid-carder, because she's had her time in the spotlight. She can go back now. Next up, we had the WWE Championship on the mid-card. Interesting, to say the least, but this was the main event. This was probably match of the night, in my opinion. It was very good. AJ Styles' wife and daughter were there, and Joe smashed a promo on them. And even the start of the finish of the match was Samoa Joe was stood on the announce table looking at Wendy, AJ's wife, and just saying, I know I said Daddy was coming home, but he's not, because at this point AJ had been busted open. He got through into the steps. Samoa Joe said, he's not coming home, but don't worry, I'll be your new daddy. And the crowds just went mental. I was sat in my seat like, oh my god, seriously, did he say that? AJ Styles went mental, ran up onto the announce table, chucked them both into the timekeeper's area, started smacking Samoa Joe with chairs, with people, with anything you can see. So it resulted in Samoa Joe winning the match via disqualification. And then a heartbreaking moment happened. It was incredible. AJ went to his wife and his daughter just turned to him and went, Daddy, you're bleeding. It tugs at the heartstrings. Give her a paycheck, WWE, because she's better promo than the Arthur roster. Next up, we had the 8 years in the making match, The Miz versus Daniel Bryan, and this ended in all the shenanigans as The Miz defeated Daniel Bryan via some brass knuckles given to him by his wife Maurice. Perfect way to end the match. I did have Daniel Bryan to win, but in my head I was like, simple booking, you could have The Miz win this by fire shenanigans and go on from there. I'm not fussed. It was a fantastic match. It was well worth the hype, if you will. And it was a perfect way for Miz to win, just dirty, just like that. And yeah, perfect. But next up, we had probably the moment of the night, I would say. Other than the Becky Lynch heel turn, if you will, I would say this is probably moment of the night. Baron Corbin, he came out to the ring, waiting for Finn Balor, and then you just heard the heartbeat. They have brought back Demon Finn randomly out of the blue. Demon Finn returned, and it was amazing. It was so unexpected. The crowds were going mental. I was going mental. And then everyone knew what was happening. Demon Finn defeats Baron Corbin via a squash match once again. So that's the second squash match on the card already. Which, brave of WWE, brave. But Demon Balor's back. We probably won't see him again for a good few months. But it was good to see him back. And there's not much to say on the match other than Baron Corbin got absolutely squashed. Next up, we had the United States Championship match. Nothing really happened in this match. Shinsuke retained against Jeff, which everyone thought was going to happen anyway. And Randy Orton came out afterwards, ran up to the ring, and then walked back again. He didn't actually get into the ring. So yeah, nothing really happened. So moving on. The second to last match, the penultimate match, we had the Raw Women's Championship between Alexa Bliss, the champion, and Ronda Rousey. And this was another squash match. It was a longer squash match. It was about 5 minutes, but Alexa Bliss didn't get too much offense in. They did the Alexa Bliss double jointed thing with the armbar, which looks very cool, very nice. But in the end, Ronda Rousey stuck on the armbar properly, made Alexa tap like a little bitch. And Ronda Rousey is the new Raw Women's Champion, which I'm very happy about. I don't think it's too early to put it on Ronda. People will just moan that she's not losing if she doesn't have the title. They've got a plan. I assume it's going to be Charlotte versus Ronda at Mania. So, or you can do it as at the moment. It looks like Survivor Series because they're both champion. If they do the Raw versus SmackDown again. But I'd like to see what happens, and I'm very, very happy that Ronda is the new women's champion because it makes sense, because she's the best thing on the women's roster at the moment, in my opinion. Main event time, everyone. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship. The crowd weren't as bad as I thought they would be. I do think they were muted for quite a long of the match, but they weren't as bad as first fears, and they actually cheered on Roman for a little bit of the match. It was like half and half. So like half was saying Roman sucks, half was saying let's go Roman, standard John Cena stick. But in the end, Braun Strowman came out first of all and said, I'm going to cash my money in the bank in at the end of the match. And then he stood at the side of the ring waiting for the end of the match. The start of the match, it was about a 5-10 minute match. It wasn't too long, but it was full of big moves. Roman Superman punch, Superman punch, Superman punch, spear, went for a third spear. Brock caught him in the guillotine and then hit him with a guillotine again. So no solds, all of Roman's offense, which looked like standard Brock Lesnar. Roman got up. I can't remember. I think there was a few suplexes thrown in there. Roman then went to spear, a bit like the Greatest Royal Rumble, where he speared him through the cage. He was looks like he was trying to spear him out the ring, pretty much. Brock moved out the way, and Roman went straight through the ropes and hit Braun Strowman on the outside. And then, for some reason, Brock just went absolutely ham on Braun Strowman, hit him with chairs, hit him with the F5, just completely demolished him, forgot about Roman. Once he got back into the ring, boom, Roman Reigns hits him with a spear, 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns is finally the Universal Champion. We don't have to worry about Brock. I'm pretty sure I saw something that Brock was on Raw tonight, so maybe he'll get his rematch, but he doesn't lose on Raw. He's never lost on Raw, so I don't know if he'll like losing on Raw if he gets a rematch. Plus, no one else has had a rematch for the Universal title, so we'll have to see what happens. But that was SummerSlam. It was an excellent show, like I said, and I'm looking forward to Raw and SmackDown because NXT was fantastic, SummerSlam was great. All they need to do is have Raw be good and SmackDown be good, and it would be probably the best 4 days of wrestling for the WWE this year. I've said that before. I think it was around Money in the Bank, but this will top it because everything's just been excellent this weekend, and there's no complaints coming from my end. But if you like this video, this review, please like, please subscribe if you are new around here, or if you haven't done so already. And I shall see you, hopefully, for Raw. Hopefully. And I shall see you for, hopefully, SmackDown as well on Wednesday, because I do them the day after. But yeah, it was an excellent weekend. Hopefully Raw and SmackDown can follow it up. But I shall see you again later on for the Raw review. Thank you very much for watching.